Anyways, we're moving on now, and we're talking about Anthony Davis. Woj dropped kind of a bomb. It wasn't a big bomb. It wasn't a Woj nuke, but it was a bomb. Dropped a Woj bomb about 3 days ago. He released an article talking about Anthony Davis being the greatest trade obsession right now in the NBA, and he pretty much sat down and talked to Anthony Davis. They talked about, comparing him to other players, how he talks about Karl-Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but that it all comes back to a winning thing. Anthony Davis wants to win, hasn't been in the playoffs right now. Obviously, we look at the playoff standings right now, 15 and 16. The Pelicans are. They're currently in the 8th spot, but that's not a for sure lockdown thing. They've been playing better when Rondo coming back. Drew Holiday's been playing better. Obviously, DeMarcus Cousins has been on fire. AD's been a little banged up. But this team right now is in the playoffs. But the whole point was that all these teams see Anthony Davis, 25 years old, #1 draft pick, looks like the future, at least for when he was coming into the league, looked like a future MVP, looked like a stud, but hasn't really been able to do all of those things because he hasn't really been healthy, hasn't been on a good team. So he remains the greatest trade obsession. The biggest thing that Anthony Davis said on there is that he wouldn't mind being a part of a super team, and he wants to be winning. And he said, you look at the Celtics, they get Gordon Hayward, they lose Gordon Hayward, and they're still winning. Isaiah Thomas takes his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they trade him. It's all about, does this organization have my back? And when talking about the Pelicans, we talked about DeMarcus Cousins possibly being traded 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Now going to Anthony Davis. It's a thing where I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think an Anthony Davis trade is going to happen. But the whole team, the big team that at least is out there that might trade for Anthony Davis is the Boston Celtics. They've been vigilant on him back before they traded for Kyrie Irving, back before they were looking at Jimmy Butler. They were looking at Anthony Davis, trying to get him. Danny Ainge wanted him, and they're still keeping their eyes out. They're vigilant on an Anthony Davis trade. So, looking at it, with the way the Celtics are currently playing, with the way the Celtics team is built, you have young players, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, obviously Gordon Hayward out, Kyrie Irving. Do you feel like this is a necessary move for the Boston Celtics?
I think it's there's two sides of it. Is it necessary? Yes, because I think that having Anthony Davis, and if you could have Horford and Davis, and then Kyrie, and then either Brown or Tatum, because I feel like you'd have to give up one of them would go. Maybe even both, depending on it.
No.
I look at it on the other side. I know. I look at it on the other side of I don't see this happening, though, because of two things. One, if it was a straight up just my team, your team, the Celtics would have to give up so much without giving up Horford, Kyrie, or Tatum. And then two, it's like, yeah, we could work in a third team, but then what am I giving up to another team? It's going to be too complicated, I think, to make happen. But should they do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
is it necessary?
Is it necessary?
Why is it necessary?
Yes, because I think with an Anthony...
you said it was necessary,
but you don't think it's going to happen.
With an Anthony Davis, I would put the Celtics over the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals.
But the whole thing is that it's not a move for just right now. It's a move for the future because, again, he's young. He's 25 years old. You're going to have Gordon Hayward. Hold on. You're going to have Gordon Hayward. You're going to have Kyrie Irving. It's a move for the future. You're going to have Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or both if you're able to keep them.
I look at it this way. Anthony Davis would, in my mind, put the Celtics over the Cavs right now and in the future, even if LeBron stays. Maybe it chases LeBron out of the East. We don't know, not getting into that. But two, it gets you to the table to play the Warriors. Yeah, it gets you to that table.
I think it makes them a better team, even if they do have to give up multiple people.
No shit. You're getting one of the best players in the NBA.
There you go. One of the best players in the NBA, but he's never healthy, and he's never consistently healthy, and he's always got these concerns about can he take his game to the next level. We watched him pop off for 50 and 20 for the first 2 weeks of the season last year.
He wouldn't have to pop off for 50.
Well, that's the one thing. His usage is going to go down, so he's going to be playing less minutes. He doesn't have to be the guy putting the team on his back.
Which is his perfect role. I mean, if you watch him play in college, his thing was, I don't have to score points to win my team games. And
he didn't score in the national championship, I believe.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
He did not score. And that's the best thing. It's he's a defensive monster. He's got length, he's got height, and he's super athletic. So he's everything you want in a stopper of a 5. And he has a great offensive game because now he can start to stretch the floor. He's a perfect fit for this Boston team. Can they make the move to get him? They could. They have draft picks to move. They have enough firepower. It's just, like Ricky said, it's the contract that you have to make work for this team, and it's finding that third team who will accept people. Because I think Jaylen Brown easily is the odd man out between him and Tatum. I think Tatum...
Why do you feel that?
I think Tatum is already a stud of a shooter. He's a good defender, good at snatching rebounds. He's
Extra
very
year
active.
on the contract.
Extra year on the contract. But I just think he has a higher top end. Jaylen Brown is good. He's a good defender, and he is a great slasher, but his shot is not confident. And he has some questions when it comes to basketball IQ, the decisions he makes on the court.
So you're saying that Jason Tatum would be untouchable in your mind?
I would.
Okay.
I would think Tatum is the guy you're trying to keep if you're the Celtics, because you're gonna have to give up somebody.
Of course, you want to keep him. Of course,
Yeah.
if you're picking Tatum or Brown, not only for the reasons you mentioned, but I think they want to keep Tatum. Tatum was their guy this year. He's younger, like you guys mentioned, more control. He looks like he has the ability defensively and offensively. He's one of the best 3-point shooters right now when it comes to percentages in the league. It's for sure that they want to keep Tatum, but the whole thing is that you're getting rid of Anthony Davis, a guy that is supposed to be, one of the best players in the NBA, top 10 player in the NBA. Yeah. Wouldn't the Pelicans be like, no, we want Tatum?
Multiple ones. That's the deal. They've got that Lakers pick ish. They've got the Clippers pick ish. They got the Memphis pick ish.
You're talking about Boston.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have firepower. You have remember this stockpile of picks that Danny Ainge has cultivated on this team. And what they're going to flip that over to. We always talk about him blueballing us on all of these, like, oh, the Celtics could do this, the Celtics could do that.
They finally
pulled the trigger on Kyrie, and that's cool. But there's a certain history to this, and that's why when you first brought up the story, I was cracking up because it's if this is a Bill Simmons thing, I'm just gonna toss it away. It's Bill Simmons being Bill Simmons. We all know the man is every week. It's 5 reasons why the Celtics are gonna get somebody.
Yeah.
So I whatever, but because it's Woj, because there's some credibility to it. I do think that they could pull the trigger. They have the firepower. They have the people. It's just a matter of, like Ricky said, I think maybe finding that third team to pivot off of.
Again, we don't know if there's for sure talks going on. Woj just said that the Celtics...
That'd be tampering or something.
We just know... Well, no.
Oh, no, not tampering. Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's not a free agent. I'm sorry.
You're a moron. I love you, but you're a moron.
Words.
Come on.
Words
again, we don't know if this is for sure. I doubt it's for sure because, again, right now the Pelicans are in the playoffs. They have DeMarcus Cousins, Drew Holiday, they have Rondo, they have AD, obviously. They have, right now, the 8th seed, the playoffs. So I doubt they're going to be moving on, especially having the control over Anthony Davis. It's just the fact that he's still lingering on and that he still is a possible trade candidate. And, even though, Boston did get Kyrie, they're still trying to get Anthony Davis. They're still trying to load up, even though they have 2 great wings in the future in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Obviously, if Gordon Hayward next year, they have Al Horford. They have a pretty decently built
I'd call
team.
him okay, yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing is that he's still a obsession for the NBA that people still want him because right now you could probably say that so far his career's been wasted right now in New Orleans. Anthony Davis, that is, hasn't been to the playoffs, has been injured, has been put a ton of pressure on him so far, has been really given no help and tried to give him some help with Drew Holiday, et cetera, et cetera. They've been trying to give him help, but it hasn't worked out so far, and people have been like, well, we want to get him when he's healthy and when he's in his prime, and that's why he's the biggest obsession right now. Do you understand the obsession? And
yes.
I mean, like
from other teams to him?
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason why is this comes back to the argument that I feel like I say each and every time I talk basketball is look at the Pelicans. If this was the 90s, they'd be one of the best teams in the NBA because they'd have the best front court in the NBA. However, we're not in the 90s. We're in a game where just because you have the best front court, you're the 15th best team.
Jordan didn't have best front court.
No. What I'm saying is...
LeBron would still be dominating.
No, that's what I'm saying is in the, it comes down to the argument of what they said of, I'll take this. When they were talking about Kobe this week on everywhere, they're like, who would you take, Kobe or Shaq or Michael and Scotty? And every single person that was asked that question went, well, what rules are we playing by? If we're playing by today's rules, Michael and Scotty. If we're playing 90s and early 2000s, I'll take Kobe and Shaq because of the dominant big man. Like Anthony Davis, he can work, but he can't work as the number one if de facto on a team. And I look at the Pelicans. Right now, they're the last team to be out of the lottery. If that happens, it's like, well, what kind of pick are we going to have there? Davis is not a free agent until 2021. Who knows what my body is going to be like when I'm the if de facto number one person on this team. Although, yeah, I have Boogie for some time right now. We don't know if that's going to be all the way until the contract ends.
At least to the end of the year.
Yeah. But if I was Anthony Davis,
Drew with you forever.
I want to go and win too because I don't see the Pelicans being a championship team by the end of his contract, which would make him 28.
No, he says in that whole thing that he wants to win. That you're judged on winning. So that's the whole big thing that he wants to do. And also, just want to do one thing. Fact check, you guys. Anthony Davis did score points in the championship game. He was 1 for 10 from the field.
Then it was the second half he didn't score at all. One of those halves he didn't score.
4 for 6 from the free throw line. He had 6 points total. 6 blocks though, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. He was unreal in that game, even though he didn't score any points. But at least looking at Anthony Davis, again, I understand why the obsession is there, and I think you put it into good words there, Ricky, is again, you look at him, 25 years old, he's a monster out there. He can shoot from the outside, he can take it in, he can attack. He's a monster on the low block. He's a great defender. I mean, there's everything that you want there. But again, we haven't seen his full potential because he hasn't been on a great team. And even with DeMarcus there, it's probably not the best pair you can be. Like, obviously, it's a great pair, but like that's not the best thing for Anthony Davis to really show off his best skills. If you had a point forward to really set him up, or a better point guard that could be dangerous from the outside, like,
watch yourself.
Like a 3. What?
Rondo?
I'm saying like a Steph Curry. Like, I'm saying like
anybody to make him look like a better player.
I'm saying like
shocked.
No, but like you would say like DeMarcus Cousins is a top 10 player, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you add a different top 10 player who's like a facilitator and a scorer, that's going to be a better pair with Anthony Davis. That's what I'm saying.
You get what's available. Not many top 10 players are on the market.
Making the hot take that Steph Curry is better than fucking Rajon Rondo.
Let me put it this way, and this might be hot takey. Take DeMarcus Cousins out of New Orleans, insert Kyrie in, or insert Isaiah Thomas in. It's a completely different team.
Yeah, the problem
and it's a winning team.
They put themselves into a bad situation with contracts. And because of those bad contracts, they were locked down on what options they could make. Boogie was the only top 10, top 15 player out there on the market. And they made the deal. They got him in town, which is awesome. They could do that. But yeah, I agree. The pairing isn't exactly perfect. You have Boogie as a center who has great ball handling skills, good passer, great shooter from the outside, and Davis, who is a down low bruiser who can stretch the floor now. Like, great, you got 2 bigs. But you're stuck with Drew Holiday, who's healthy for like 30 days out of the year. You got Rondo, who old, still good, but you're not going to carry that team into a championship win.
I was just saying, the reason why he's the biggest obsession in the NBA is because that potential has always been there, and people still feel like that potential hasn't been reached. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, him and Bismack Biyombo are my 2 top guys with wasted potential.
I brought up and I'm just saying the potential's still there, and people want to bring him. And I think. Should they? I don't know if it's really going to be a feasible option. I think that's the reason why it won't happen. And again, you look at everything that the Celtics have brought up and that they have right now. You mentioned the load of draft picks. You mentioned Jason Tatum. You mentioned Jaylen Brown. Terry Rozier still a guy that people want as well. You look at Marcus Smart. He's
expiring
still young
contract
as well. I still look at it and I feel like it's not going to happen. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to get traded anytime soon. No. I feel like if he's going to get traded, it's going to be near that end of the contract when New Orleans is probably like, all right, we can't keep him around. I think that's going to be something big. I don't feel like New Orleans would trade him at all because that's the only player right now that's probably going to make him money for the next 5 years.
The face of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean he's not. I mean Drew Holiday is not going to be making him money. People aren't going to be coming to see Drew Holiday. People aren't going to be coming to see
contract. They better.
A 16th pick in the NBA draft. Right now, Anthony Davis is the reason New Orleans is making money. They're losing money right now, but like the only reason that they're closer to breaking even right now is because of Anthony Davis. And again, I don't think this is going to be something that happens anytime soon. But I feel like this is going to be something that never goes away. And I think it's maybe going to be similar to DeMarcus Cousins. Every single year we brought up, is DeMarcus Cousins going to be traded? He's a cancer to the Kings.
2+ years at least.
He still wants to be moved. I think the biggest thing, though, is that Anthony Davis really hasn't said that he wants to be traded. Yeah. I think he wants to win.
He hasn't denied that he doesn't want to trade.
But here's the thing. Once the door opens a crack, and that's what I feel like this is, by saying the whole, you can say like, by him saying that, winning matters, that's him trying to light a fire under the Pelicans' behinds to get them going. But let's be completely honest. If they're the 15th pick in the draft where they are right now, if the season ended today, you're not going to get that one player that magically makes you a winning franchise.
Probably not.
I think that's more of a comment like, hey, I would like to win at some point, and eventually, if things are like they are right now, I'm going to start asking for trades.
Yeah, I just think it's so out of his personality that he would ask for a trade ever, which is why I'm like, he's there. He's a nice, quiet kid, and it's a shame because at like 24, we've watched he's been in the league for 4 years already, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, longer than that. He probably came in when he's like 19.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a shame that we're seeing this, and I see why the Celtics want him because it's their biggest need right now. It's their biggest weakness. But at the end of the day, it's a high asking price for a lot of years left on a contract that you're going to leave this New Orleans team without anything. So
shit, I was saying he was 25. He's 24.
Yeah, he's 24 the whole time.
Yeah. He's been in the league
I don't want to
5
correct
years.
you.
Well, you should have corrected me. But yeah, he's been in the league for 5 years. Woj put it as 25.
Yeah, he will be 25 in 3
March.
months.
Yeah, but
just to put it in perspective, he's Brandon's age. Him and Brandon are the same age.
Yeah, look what they've done with their careers.
one is
Both of them have not won a playoff game.
Yeah,
it's true.
But one has a national championship in college.
I don't feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like of course, like kind of what Ricky said. I don't know if it's necessary for the Celtics to win again. I feel like
what I could see going down is nothing happens this year.
I don't think anything happens in the next 2 years.
Celtics, well, here's the thing. This is the most crazy thing I'll say. Nothing happens this year. Boston loses to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals and then feel like, shoot, we need a defensive force or someone to help down low. And then next year at the earliest, we get the hard talks for Davis to Boston.
Potentially that, but you got to watch out this year for the bargain defenders down though. You could go get Rolla, you could go get DeAndre Jordan, you could go get some of these guys who could fill that spot for you, and at bargain of the price.
Possibly they trade for Rollo too.
Yeah.
When we were talking about that last time in the Bull segment, I was just thinking, why not trade him to Rollo? He destroyed you last year on the board, so why not just go get someone that destroyed you on the board?
I would refuse to take Aaron Baines though. I hate that kid.
That's fair. But at least looking at Anthony Davis, 3 more years. I feel like if the talk picks up, he's going to get traded near that 2019-2020 year. He's going to be 26 years old, make it $27 million. Then he's got 1 more year after that, so it's going to be probably similar to that Boogie contract for there. They're just lucky that salary didn't trigger because he didn't make the first team or whatever it was. But overall, I don't think it's going to happen. Should they? Of course. It's Anthony Davis. He's one of the best players in the NBA. And it's going to make your team better, and having Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, or Jason Tatum and Anthony Davis, that makes your team better. And again, the whole lingering of is LeBron going to stay or not is definitely still out there.
I want to ask this right at the end. If it was a deal where it's like, okay, we got a deal in place, but Horford has to be in the deal, and you are basically switching Horford for Davis, do you do it?
Yes.
100%.
Why I would not even blink.
Okay.
Like the ones I'd blink at would be if they said Brown and Tatum. Like no. I would not include both of them.
Yeah, he would get moved in a heartbeat for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean, you're upgrading. You're still upgrading for getting in.
Because ideally, I'm looking at it as, hey, let's add Davis, have him at the 5, Horford at the 4,
right? And
then like thinking long term, then you have Tatum, Hayward, and Kyrie.
Yeah, but then again, you also get rid of Horford's contract as well. That's something too, where in the next 3 years, Horford's contract might not be great. Right now, he's playing great, but I would easily trade Anthony Davis for Al Horford. I mean, obviously, there's going to be more to that. I feel like it's not going to happen, though. I feel like we're all in agreement with that. But it is interesting. Again, like
because Boston does have the assets. If they want to make it happen, they could make it happen.
The only other team that has close to the assets are the Hawks, and they're not making any moves. They're the only team that has like multiple firsts.
Didn't Anthony say he want to play for a winner?
Yeah,
no, I know.
He doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to move.
My point
they're
is
undefeated.
He doesn't want to move a couple states over.
My point is, there's no other winners with the amount of assets.
No, there are not.
No, I mean, you got Cleveland with K-Love and that Brooklyn pick.
The Brooklyn pick that keeps falling.
I don't know.
That's a wash.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I'm just saying they have some assets. I mean, Golden State has nothing.
Clearly, we're just
Golden State doesn't.
We're suckers as Bulls fans. We're like, we're gonna hold out till he's a free agent. Bring him home.
Rockets as well. Hey, when that contract's up, he's
30-year-old Anthony Davis.
When that contract
27,
28. Yeah, when that contract's up, he's gonna be 28. So he'll still be in his prime.
Yeah.
Anyways, let us know what you think about Anthony Davis to Celtics. I think we came into this topic knowing that nothing was going to happen, but it's still interesting to talk about because he is such a great player. He's a polarizing player. Obviously, the talks are always interesting to bring up. Like, could it possibly happen? And looking at this team, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Anthony Davis, Brown, or Tatum. That's a team that could probably win a championship. I mean, that's a team that really you don't have an answer for at that 5 if you're Golden State. If you're Cleveland, you probably never have an answer for it because probably one of the best big men, if not the best big man, and the other best big man's on his team right now in DeMarcus Cousins. But anyways, that's going to wrap up that topic.